It's a Sunday morning. It's almost 11 o'clock Central Time. And I was sick for a couple of days this week and just felt meh the rest of the week. So been off the bike about 8 days. So the last time I rode was last Sunday. So I decided that after being ill, it's cold, we got a strong front that came in yesterday, gusty winds, I think up to like gusts, almost 70, 80K gusts, 45, 50 miles an hour. So it was pretty much dangerous. So Paul and I did not ride. In fact, I had to call Paul while he was on the way to tell him it was not safe to ride. And then I just decided to rest an extra day, and I'm glad I did. I feel better today, but after being ill, you want to kind of do your own thing, because you really don't want to do someone else's pace. And it's hard to control the pace when you're with others, especially others who don't do anything steady per se.
On this ride, I left Northampton, rode past the Woodlands, went out on 1488. It was a blustery day. I mean, not as windy as it had been the day before. I spent most of the time exploring some neighborhood around Mostyn there, and then came back using Lake Windcrest over there and just recorded a little bit of film in the neighborhoods that I hadn't been in before. I think that you will find the clips interesting. It was one of those days where I went out later in the morning just to kind of keep my legs loose.
So I'm checking out a new neighborhood here. We always ride past, we never come in here. It's off of 1488. It's on the northwesterly side of 1488. But there's no meters or anything. I mean, there's a power meter on this bike, but I'm not paying attention to anything. Effort doesn't matter. I'm just out spinning my legs, loosening up. It's gonna take a few rides before I really start doing any kind of training. So it'll probably be like the latter part of this week, because it's Sunday now. Maybe Thursday before I really do anything structured. So I wasn't sure I was gonna even film this week, but I decided to just kind of make this full of clips. We've never been in here, but we're definitely gonna have to come back because it's pretty. And I'm going downhill here. It says -4, so that's gonna be a nice climb. The roads are nice. It is a big neighborhood that we always just ride past. And it's just cold. It's colder than we're used to down here. It's about 7.5 Celsius, which is 46, 47 degrees, something like that, Fahrenheit. It's cold. It was colder yesterday, and then with the gusts, it probably felt like 22 Fahrenheit, you know, -5 C. It was just cold. So today is a little milder. A lot of the guys posted that they were gonna ride later in the morning, which is what I did. I left about 9. Yeah, it was a little warmer, you know, 40 Fahrenheit, about 4 Celsius. You can see nobody's out. It's colder than we're used to. It's windy. We have a lot of humidity. So it feels colder than other parts of the world with the same temperatures. So even though we're in southeastern Texas, when it gets cold, it feels colder than when you're in the mountains where the air might be drier. So you really have to respect it. And I've never been in here before. It's very beautiful. I like the sweeping roads that they have in here. They're putting up some new homes. I'm hoping the wind doesn't drown me out too much, because I'm headed north. It's very windy. I'm gonna go right here. This is a beautiful road I just spotted. From the distance, you can just see. So yeah, I'm gonna bring Paul out here. He likes this kind of stuff. But I'm making this film for those of you who either you're ill or you're busy with work or whatever and you miss training. When you get back into it, take it easy. Give yourself at least a full week to kind of ease back into it. You'll know when you're ready to go a little harder, but don't jump into a group ride and try to kill yourself or anything. If you find a reasonably paced group that have the discipline, then you can go with them. They start going too hard, let them go. I just wanted to do my own thing today. I didn't want to deal with any drama or anything. There were a lot of rides being posted for different hours of the day, and I just wanted to roll out when I felt like it. And I'm just spinning the little gears and then taking in the sights. And you know, so putting together some clips for you all. I hope you find it interesting and educational. Regardless of the reason you've been off the bike, you should make sure that you listen to your body, because you are your best judge of how you feel. And when you're ready to go, your body will know. You're not missing out on anything. So I'm going to give myself this full week. By the latter part of the week, then I will know exactly how I'm rolling. You know, and that should determine what I do. I'll go to the right. This little area back here. So it's colder than we're used to, so everybody's staying in. Look at that flag over there. That's how much it's blowing out of the north. And I'm headed north right here. Just want to see where this goes. But it feels good to be out here after almost 9 days off the bike. I guess this is the 8th day, Sunday to Sunday. This part of the area is called Mostyn that you see on this sign. This is an area that shows on the map when I'm doing the relive stuff. Mostyn is an area. We're near the high school, we're near Mount Magnolia. Nice and warm when I turn this way because I've got the wind behind me. So I'll get some more clips for you all, but this is just an easy spin to kind of get back into the swing of things. All right, I'm glad I went through this area. I'm on a road here, which is right outside of the subdivision I just left. It's called Community Road. We always pass it. Up ahead, it hits 1488. We always pass it, but I've never been back here further down. And it hits, there's a bunch of communities down here. And it's kind of nice that I came back here to find it, because it's a neat little tour of the area. They've got several communities in the Mostyn area back there. I've been as far as what you see these horses, and they have there's a cow, the cow patch on the left here. There are no cows out. Well, yeah, there they are. Yeah, we've been this far because people have flats up there, and we come down here. Got a little private lake there. So that's kind of nice. But all of this connects. And back there is deeper than just a road. It's a village. It's a small village back there. So that's kind of neat to see. My first hour back on the bike, everything felt odd and everything felt uncomfortable. And after about an hour, then I kind of started feeling loose. So right now, I'm just spinning whichever gear feels easiest, because all I want to do is kind of get my body loose, you know, get back and do some calisthenics or something. So this part of the highway I believe, let's see if I recognize it. Yeah, this is where we go over that bump right there. Let me stop. A bunch of cars. That's the little bump the other time when those guys were struggling. That's the bump we go over, and then that will take us to Mount Magnolia. So it's nice to come through here and give this area another look versus when we're flying through here. A lot of homes back there we never check out. It's one of these winter days down here. Like up north, it'd probably be like snow would be on the ground or something. Nobody really wants to go out. For us, it says 10 Celsius right now, but it feels like 4 Celsius or even 3 Celsius. It feels like it's in the 30s, like 35 Fahrenheit. That's what the feel like temperature is. Because of all the wind that brought this cold front in. And this front is affecting the entire south central towards the eastern part of the country. It's going to flow to the northeast. So it's going to be here for at least a week. From looking at the forecast, most of this week will be cold. Yeah, that's all we need. It's going to be another CVS pharmacy. We got thousands of them down here. Sticking another one out here. The way we build down here is most neighborhoods have a grocery store, drugstore, other stuff nearby. You would think that people could walk to them, but we don't build sidewalks, so everybody drives 1 mile and parks. So if we could improve our pedestrian facilities, we wouldn't be using these cars as much. We'd be so dependent on fuel. There's a high school back there. I want to show you guys there's an underpass. It's like a loop that I'm going to use to come back. Downshift, the wind is picking up. I don't want to labor. Sign says a car wash coming soon. There'll be another strip center, so there'll be a lot of cars coming in and out. Wherever you get a bunch of these guys together, you have a lot of little fender benders because everybody's always rushing everywhere. As I turn north, wind's blowing from the north and from the west, from my left. There's Magnolia High School here. We have another high school a few kilometers down the road, probably, I would say 6 kilometers or so down the road. It's called Magnolia West High School. Near the downtown part of Magnolia. Pretty big high school, it's been here for a while. This is one way to go back since they built that overpass without having to go up the overpass and come down and loop back around again. This is a little simpler. They put this here primarily for people that come to the high school that are going back east. Because you can't go over the tracks. This road used to go over the railroad tracks and the train would delay everything. I'm not sure you all can even hear me. It's very windy right now. That's what's making it feel so cold. I mean, the weather is nice, but we live in an area where people don't have an affinity for dressing up properly for the weather. So when it's cold, they depend on cars and they dress like it's summer and they run in and out of stores. They don't spend a lot of time outside. So I love to come outside when it's cold because the roads are clear. Most of them don't want to be out. It doesn't stay cold very long in our area. That's another reason people don't really bother that much respecting the cold. I don't play with the cold. This is the loop here. So I'm going under the overpass. That's what we usually climb. And now I've turned and the wind is favorable. It's a lot quieter. It feels warmer, especially with the sunlight. So not every ride needs to be setting records, as I've said before. Just go out and spin, loosen up, get to know your bike, check out your fit, do whatever. These are the rides that you pay attention to how the new shoe feels or the new saddle feels or your new shorts or whatever. Get out and spin and make sure you're ready to go when it's necessary. But for the next 3 or 4 rides, I'm just gonna be kind of loosening up, let my body ease back into the swing of things until I feel like I want to go faster. That's the way you should do it. Then you know when you feel like yourself again. So I'm feeling fine, but I'm going to just do 3 or 4 more rides, tranquilo, or tranquilo, as they say in Spanish. Taking it easy, let my body fully recover until I feel like, man, yeah, let's push it. And the way to do that is to ride solo or with somebody who shares similar ambitions. They're putting a road here. Interesting. I'm not sure where that's gonna go, but of course I'm gonna check that out when it's paved. Kind of curious. They're building something else back there. Hopefully they won't clear all these beautiful trees. That's about the only thing about all this growth. They kill all these mature trees. Makes no sense. In summer it gets hot. You got nothing out here. All right, you legends. I'm rolling back in. Got the wind behind me, so I don't have to work very hard to go a little quicker. Figure I get some clips. Tailwind and a crosswind from the left, from the north. I'm headed east. It's always congested at the intersection coming up. You can hear the wind. See that flag up there? So it's mostly cross, a little bit of teal. I am fully covered. Broke out the big gear, winter gear stuff. Shoe covers, tights. Can't mess with this. It says 12C, but it feels like 7. It's cold. You know it's cold. Usually this intersection is really crowded. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. That's very light traffic for this time of day here. We usually avoid this corner a lot and we go to the next corner through the neighborhood. That's Egypt Lane up there. That's how we get across because it's usually very congested. But not today. Being sunny helps, but still, you can see the sky's clear. That radiational cooling, as soon as the sun goes down, it's gonna drop near freezing. Because of all these things on the corners here. Every corner has shopping, gas, whatever. They put everything here, so restaurants. Which I think is ideal because if you can just park in one place. If you have a lot to do, you just kind of stroll from these outdoor malls. All kinds of stuff here. But that's not what they do. They drive from door to door. So I'm glad I came out today. I'm already feeling better. That's the fresh air. Being cooped up all week. It's nice to get out. Human beings weren't meant to be cooped up. This is where we usually cross Egypt Lane. I always like to use this mirror to check my form. Hard to see though. So it helps that I've got some footage of myself riding. a lot of glass on this shoulder about a week ago. It looks like it's been washed away or blown away, thankfully, by the winds we had. Because yesterday, sheesh, heavy winds. I'm glad I came out. I was a bit hesitant. I wanted to just do the trainer. Really didn't want to deal with the cold weather because I hadn't been out in it all week other than to run errands. So I'm glad I came out. I only have 2 layers on, and that's perfect because they're very warm layers. Got a 3 out of 3 winter layer from ASOS on with my thermal jersey. That was plenty. And a 2 out of 3 skull cap, but I broke out the heavy coverings for my feet. So you gotta have to play with things like that because by having the heavy stuff on my feet, I use lighter gloves on my hands. They are classified as 3 out of 3, but they're lighter, low profile. I think a little below 10°C, about 8 Celsius, they'll be fine. But if it's gonna stay much below that, then you're gonna have to use a liner or break out like the Ultras that I have. So you gotta have a few things in your arsenal. You can't just have one thing. You gotta have things that you can layer with because the temperatures are gonna vary based on humidity, all of that. It's very complicated. There is no one way to sort it. You've got to analyze and you got to try. Sometimes you'll miss it and you have to spin back home, get more, or carry some in your pocket, you know, until you master it for your region or the area that you live in, because depending on where you are, like our temperatures here, it says 12 Celsius, feels like 7 or 8. Somewhere else in the world, 8 Celsius might feel like our 12. So yeah, you know, because they don't have a lot of humidity. If it's very dry, you're in the mountains. So you have to experiment, you have to get out there. You can't do it from the couch. Check behind, nothing's coming. So I gotta try to get through this light. Can't do it on the shoulder. If you look at this shoulder right here, it ends. That curve blocks it. So it is not a bike lane. We just ride there out of courtesy. And when it's not clean, there's a lot of glass or whatever, I use the road. And right now it's not busy, but I'm gonna use the shoulder because I just want to chill. And just kind of let my legs do what they feel like doing. I'm not putting my mind into it. Let my legs turn independently. Sometimes it's good to ride like that without thinking. I just picked up some kind of pine needle or something. It works itself out. So I always get between the spokes and make a lot of noise. Every time near the corners here, I'm gonna use the rim because the shoulder gets blocked. And these jerks like to act like they can't change lanes. So you position yourself so they have to. Again, because that corner is going to be blocked. This is the corner where the ride usually starts. This is Alden Bridge Drive. Parking lot to the left is where they start from usually. I use this way to go home sometimes. I'm gonna be turning left in about half a block. So I take the left lane early. A lot of the riders live in this area. We're in the woodlands, in the Alden village. So don't let anything deter you from getting out. You don't have to always have a hard-nosed plan on every ride. Just get out sometimes and just enjoy being on the bike, because that's really why we ride, because we love riding our bike. Get out frequently, get out often, especially if you've had a layoff. Ease back into it. Don't force yourself. all of this has just been spontaneous. I'm enjoying the terrain, enjoying the conditions. The wind is somewhat favorable, a little from my right, plus from behind me, so it's nice. More and more people coming out. It's warmer. It's like 48 Fahrenheit. Almost 10 C is what it feels like. That's not too bad. This area here, this street is called Cochran's Crossing. They've got a golf course that goes across from over on the left there, over here. Got a nice little water feature there, people fishing. But they have tournaments here. Paul and I have checked out the neighborhood back there. It's interesting. Not too many cars, but it's interesting. Nice way to get home. I got the wind behind me and a little from the right. More from the back than the right. And I'm feeling better than I thought I would after that layoff in my legends. Most times it's really hard to get out. Don't let anything dissuade you. We didn't ride yesterday because it was not safe. There was a warning giving out wind advisory for high profile vehicles, so forth and so on, and it literally could blow you off your bike when you've got almost 75, 80 kilometers wind gusts, you know, 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts. You don't know when they're gonna come, and then it's just brutally cold. It was not a pleasant day at all, and that wind danger was the reason we didn't ride. And so the day is much milder. Although it's cold, you still have to get out. And even if you can't get out, get on the trainer. Use that as a motivation to stay consistent, because I'm glad I came out, because I almost didn't come out today. I'm glad I did, because I feel great at the end of this ride, just spinning the little gears and enjoying the fresh air. So it's good for your body and your mind. Get out when you can, as often as you can. I didn't think I was going to ride this far. This was an easy ride, and I'm almost at 4 hours. You know, by the time I on clip, it would be about a little over 4 hours. So a 4 hour easy ride. I just thought I'd go out for maybe 90 minutes. But once I got out, I felt so good. I'm really pleased that I did, because I wasn't sure how my recovery would be, you know, after not feeling great early in the week. So that's why you got to stay in shape. You get over these little bugs quickly. And so now for the rest of the winter, I'm just going to have to make sure that I fortify my system against bugs, because we get a lot of them during the winter. You know, you got the flu, you got COVID, you got all kinds of stuff out there. So you got to be careful. Be careful who you expose yourself to and who you allow into your space. That's important with what's going on right now. So So this turned out to be a much more enjoyable ride than I'd envisioned. And it's like that sometimes. You're heading out, you're not so sure, you know, and then sometimes you're heading out and you're pumped and it doesn't work out that way, you shorten it. But today, it was the opposite. I just kept going further and further out. Added additional loops to the ride. I also got a chance to check out a new pair of cleats I put on my shoes, so they're settled nicely. Should be no issues. One thing about the area we live in, up and down. So even when you're riding easily, you gotta deal with these climbs. Just keep the effort low, stay slow. Well, I'm nice and toasty. I love these shoe covers. They work really well. Kept my feet warm. Got a bunch of these lakes nearby where we live. Man-made. The more retention ponds where they make them beautiful enough to where people can sit or walk around them. I was waiting for that genius to pass. He didn't signal he was turning. So I figured he was going straight. The thing, the signals on the cars are for decorative purposes. So no matter what, get your K's in. Let nothing deter you.